Hi, I'm Amanda from Integrative Healing with Amanda Butler. I provide energy healing combined with psychological perspectives to facilitate a deeper connection with the divine within. Today, we're going to do a clearing to connect with our community. And there's a personal inspiration for this video and an archetypal inspiration for this as well. And when I say archetypal, what I mean is universal patterns of human experience. That's what archetypes are, and we often see them in, stories like in movies or TV shows, novels, things like that can often be very archetypal, very relatable kinds of stories. And so the personal inspiration for this is that I've been wanting to connect more with, like-minded, like-hearted, in people on a spiritual path, people who have similar goals, want similar things out of life, want to be of service, kind of kindred spirits, soul family types of people. And I found that hard recently, so I wanted to do a clearing around this for myself. And so if I'm needing this, probably other people do too. So I wanted to make a video about it. And the archetypal inspiration for this actually comes from two sitcoms that I really like about a person or people who lost everything that was important to them and along the way ended up finding community and love and friendship and meaning, even though they had lost so much. And so the first TV show that kind of inspired this is one called Community. It was on NBC from like 2009 to 2014 or something here in the United States, and it was about this high-powered attorney named Jeff Winger, and he got disbarred after his company found out that he got his law degree not from Columbia University, but from a university in the country of Colombia. So he had to start over at this community college called Greendale Community College that he didn't think very highly of. And he decided to set up a study group so that he could meet this woman in his Spanish class that he was attracted to. And from there, he ended up, kind of accidentally, in spite of himself, finding a community of good friends, supportive people who were really there for him and they all really came together to form a supportive community with each other. And so he lost everything that was important to him and found himself in a place where he really didn't want to be. But in spite of all that, he found his community and found himself kind of becoming a better version of himself through his interactions with those people. And the second TV show that is the archetypal inspiration for this is Schitt's Creek. That's Schitt's Creek. It was on the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation and, Netflix from like 2015 to 2021, I think. And really, really funny show, just like Community. This one was about the very wealthy Rose family whose business manager didn't pay their taxes and swindled them out of all of their money. So they lost all of their money and had to move into a motel in this town called Schitt's Creek that they bought as a joke. It was the only asset that the government let them keep because they determined it had no value. So once again, some people who lost everything that was important to them and ended up in a place where they really didn't want to be. But along the way, as they, struggled to kind of put their lives back together, they connected with the people in this town who were supportive and helpful to them and ended up building real connections and finding friendship and even love relationships along the way. And so that's kind of the archetype we're working with. And it's not to say that someone necessarily has to lose everything that's important to them in order to, find their community and connect with, you know, like-minded people in real, genuine connections. And yet at the same time, if you're on what you consider to be a spiritual path or a path of individuation, which is basically the process of becoming your true, authentic self, who you really are, embodying the divine within, there often is a lot of loss along this path, a lot of loss of friendships, with a loss, like a lot of loss of friendships with people who maybe are not on that kind of path, or who maybe don't get what you're doing. And so it can feel very lonely and very sad sometimes, but it doesn't have to be. And so that's what we're clearing. And in truth, we really cannot individuate on our own. We become ourselves, the best version of ourselves, the highest version of ourselves, often through our relationships with other people, whether they are partners, friends, family members, colleagues, other people we associate with who kind of mirror us, and in our connections with them, we learn more about ourselves, and it really provides a matrix for our growth and learning about ourselves and becoming that highest version of ourselves. And so in this clearing, that's what we're doing. We're, kind of calling in that genuine community, that real soul family, that genuine soul tribe to connect with. And along with that, bringing in or deepening the connection to the anima mundi, or world soul, which is the idea that we're all one, basically. We're all connected through spirit, because in spirit we're all one, and there is, I've heard it referred to as like the web of life through which we're all connected, but here we're calling it the world soul. And so also clearing to bring in relationships with those in your community that have greater equality, mutuality, support, genuineness, maybe than what you've experienced before. The inspiration for this personally is, for a lot of my life, I've, in many of my relationships, usually been the one reaching out and saying, hey, let's go to lunch, or let's go get coffee, or do this or that. And the other person, whether it's been, a friend or even a partner or even a family member, sometimes hasn't really been all that interested in putting in that effort as well. So connecting with people who really are there in it equally with you. Not that you have to keep score, but it ends up balancing out so that it's not most of the time you saying, hey, let's go do this or that, or reaching out while they're maybe not all that interested or not really available. So finding people who really are emotionally available to be in an equal, mutual relationship with you as part of your community, whatever that relationship is, whether it's a friendship or something else. People who are really there for you, kind of like the Friends theme song from that TV show. I'll be there for you because you're there for me too. People who are really in it with you equally. So I'm intending this one to be short and sweet, so let's get started. Right now we're prepping to work, asking permission from your soul to do this clearing. It's like my higher self and your higher self working together to clear what needs to be cleared, so that you can call in your genuine community and have genuine, equal, loving connections with like-minded, like-hearted, kindred spirit, soul family types of connections, and have a supportive community around you. And so let's get started. Okay, so we're going to be starting with SRT, which is spiritual response therapy. It's the main modality that I use. It was created by Robert Detzler. There are 32 charts to point out all kinds of programs, energies, things like that that need to be cleared. So starting by clearing around any themes and challenges, and clearing around personal integrity. So this is like people who have the same level of integrity as you, people who follow their own integrity, who act from a place of having their own integrity, and who really have like maybe similar values as you or want similar kinds of things as you, and you can connect on that level of both of you, whoever you're connecting with, standing in your integrity. You don't have to sacrifice your own integrity because to be with them because they're on the same level as you. You have that kind of thing in common. Okay. Okay, moving on to chart number 7, healing processes and colors. Seeing what we've got there. Okay, applying anything and everything from this chart that needs to be applied to you. It's like your higher self selecting anything from this chart that needs to be applied to help you in your own personal situation to connect with those who you're really meant to connect with. Okay, so moving on to chart 13. Clearing infinite levels before thought. And this is kind of based on the idea that before we were incarnated here, or kind of branched out from spirit onto our spiritual journey to have this experience of being spirit incarnated in human form, having a human experience, clearing the infinite levels that happened before that. These are just words for energies, no need to get too attached to them. So clearing anything that needs to be cleared that came before we began our spiritual journey. Okay, moving on to chart 16. And clearing around shift into unreality. If we've had maybe a lot of hurtful experiences around friendships or other kinds of relationships where we have felt maybe left out or like we don't fit in, or like maybe no one will ever really accept us and we won't ever really find like our tribe, our community, our soul family, whatever word you want to use, it can feel unreal and kind of impossible, like, well, that'll never happen. And it can feel like if we do actually like meet these people that we really connect with, it can feel unreal and like we are not able to trust it, like we're waiting for the other shoe to drop, or these people are maybe not as great as we think they are. They're just going to turn around and betray me because other people have. So clearing anything that feels unreal about it, that makes you not trust it, that makes you expect betrayal, so that you really can feel safe and supported in a genuine community. Okay, moving on. Chart 20, refining consciousness. Clearing all higher level issues by one. And one is like that oneness I was talking about of being one with spirit. We're all one because we're all part of spirit. We're all expressions of spirit. We're all part of the world soul or anima mundi. So clearing any higher level issues that keep us from feeling connected to that. Okay. Moving on to chart 25. And as we move up in the numbers of the charts, it's like we're moving up into higher levels of consciousness, advancing on our spiritual path, integrating our spiritual growth, and integrating these higher levels of consciousness. So clearing now any soul phases. Maybe your soul was going through a phase where it wanted you to have certain experiences that you could learn from, certain experiences of contrast. Well, in this phase, you wanted to learn maybe something about loneliness so that when you did actually find genuine soul family members or tribe members to connect with, that it would be all the more valuable to you. Maybe something like that. Like, so there's maybe some kind of soul phase that's been going on that is an experience your soul wanted to have as part of your larger spiritual journey, the larger kind of divine storyline for your soul's journey. And now it's time to move on to a different chapter or a different phase where there is room for that community, that support, those genuine people to connect with, to come in. Okay, moving on to chart 28, final forgiveness. Forgiveness is always so important on the spiritual journey. Allowing that forgiveness to come in for things that have been hurtful in the past, and clearing on this chart any emotional impingements and that kind of ties back to what I was talking about before around like negative, hurtful kinds of experiences where people seemed like, someone you could genuinely connect with, and then they were not. So letting go of any emotional impingements that would stop you from connecting with people who really are, genuine people that you could share some kind of friendship or other kind of relationship with that would be based on, kind of being a kindred spirit or having a genuine connection based on something really deep and meaningful to both of you. Okay, moving on to chart 30. And doing a head-to-toe search and clear of anything and everything else that needs to be cleared that would, stop you from maybe connecting with the people that you are truly meant to connect with, that your soul truly wants to connect with, that maybe you made some kind of agreement to connect with, like, hey, we'll connect and be friends and be supportive of each other in this life and have a nice friendship. So head to toe, search and clear, setting that on run until done. And moving on to chart 31. Clearing now around the elevations. And what this always feels like to me is like when you're on an airplane and you're going up to kind of a higher altitude, there's maybe a little bit of turbulence as you move through the layers of the atmosphere. It can kind of be the same on the spiritual journey. As you're moving up into another level of consciousness or awareness, there can be some bumps along the way as the old is leaving and the new is coming in. And this to me is about kind of smoothing out that turbulence. So it's more gentle, more easeful, more graceful as you transition to the new and leave behind the old. Okay, now finally on to 32, our final chart here, clearing any heart energies. Like again, when we've had hurtful experiences, that it can create some energies around the heart that can be meant to protect ourselves, but can inadvertently block out genuine connections with people who really do share similar goals or values or interests and really do want to connect with you in a loving and genuine, equal, mutual kind of way. So clearing any heart energies that would block out genuine connection with your true community. Okay. Okay, that's a wrap then for SRT, completing a mop-up of that. As Spirit clears anything and everything else that needs to be cleared. We don't always need to know everything that's being cleared. And moving on to QST, which is Quantum Speed Therapy, created by Alexandra of Spiritual Healing Therapy. She has a website and a YouTube channel that you can also check out. She has really good videos on there. And so let's see, starting by clearing on chart 1 around healing integration. So bringing in energies to help you integrate this healing that we're doing right now, as well as maybe more deeply integrating any other work you've done around friendships, relationships, soul family, soul tribe, bringing in your true community. So clearing around that. Clearing around the past. So again, any and all of those past kind of hurtful, negative experiences that might make you a little scared to be open to connecting with people who genuinely do want to be there for you in a real way. And even clearing around past experiences you may have had with certain people back then where they were one way, but maybe they truly have changed and there's more of a potential for a more genuine connection with them now. So clearing around these past things where maybe a past connection can kind of be renewed or resurrected, made new, and a way forward can be found to really connect on a more genuine level this time with someone. And again, that depends on your own particular situation and your own discernment. So, but it is something that could be possible here. And then clearing the energies of facilitation. This is like, in this instance, I feel like a ripple effect, like this clearing that you're doing can have a ripple effect on those around you. And maybe as you shift, it can kind of call forth different behavior in them. So maybe if they were one way, like it was always you kind of texting them or calling them or whatever and saying, hey, let's go hang out. Maybe there's a shift as you have cleared where they might be a little bit more available. So facilitating having a ripple effect in your relationships as much as is necessary and appropriate and possible right now. And next item on the chart is learn. So downloading, integrating, really learning the lessons from the past and learning, anything that you really need to learn right now around all of this. That community, friendship, relationships, really genuinely connecting with people. Okay, moving on to our next chart. And clearing around the cocoon, sort of the container for transformation, kind of wrapping you, cocooning you in this protective light as this shifts and transforms for you, bringing in the energies of transformation, transmutation to help with this. Like, kind of the ultimate symbol of transformation is the caterpillar going into the cocoon to be transformed into the butterfly. So bringing in the energies of transformation and also protection as you go through this transformation. And now bringing in the energies of re-ensemble. And so like ensemble is like an ensemble cast, multiple characters, multiple people, kind of rearranging, re-ensembling those around you, kind of shifting who is around you to bring in people who are more in alignment with where you are now and more able to genuinely connect with you, genuinely be emotionally available, and connect with you on a more equal, genuine, mutual kind of level. So re-ensemble. And bringing in the energies of completion, both you feeling complete, so it's not like you need these people, that it's not like some kind of codependent thing where I have to have you in my life in order to be okay, but it's more like an interdependent kind of thing where you learn from and support each other. And there's this mutual interdependence. And as also with this completion, like bringing completion to the previous chapter of whatever your community, your friendships, your relationships, whatever, we're like bringing completion to that and moving forward into this new chapter. Okay, so moving on to the next chart and clearing around the energies of fusion. And so this is, with this one, for me, there's always the element of like a deeper fusion with the divine within you, a deeper, stronger connection to the divine self, the true self, the authentic self, feeling more connected and more in alignment with that. So a fusion with that. And in this instance, I also feel like it's clearing the need to like fuse with and be exactly like whatever person or people you're wanting to be friends with or in relationship with. You don't have to be exactly like them. You can be your individual self. They can be their individual self. You don't have to be a copy of them or fuse yourself to them or agree with all of their ideas. You can each be individuals who are each embodying your divine self and being fused with that rather than being like fused with each other. Okay. Moving on to chart 4. Clearing around the magnetic field to shift whatever it is you're magnetizing to yourself, to magnetize to you people who, again, are genuinely more emotionally available, more supportive, more able to be in an equal mutual relationship with you, whether it's a friend, a colleague, a partner, whoever you're wanting to bring in as part of your community, bringing in people to be in your community who really are able to be there for you, be in an interdependent, mature kind of equal relationship with you. So magnetizing your magnetic field to attract that rather than whatever you were attracting before. And absorption, clearing the way to really absorb and take in and integrate this healing, and to really be able to let in the love, the friendship, the support, the genuine connection that those who are really meant to be in your life and meant to be part of the community that you're with offer you. So being able to take in and receive the good that they are offering you. To really let it in and absorb it so that it doesn't just kind of bounce off and you don't feel it or don't notice it. To really take it in and absorb it. Okay, then I'm getting the mop-up signal. So it looks like that is a wrap for QST and a wrap for this clearing overall. So doing a mop-up, wrap-up, anchor locking and sealing this clearing in. And I hope you have found this video helpful. It can take a little while to integrate the clearings, so just keep an open mind, an open heart, open eyes to be aware of what shifts and what you notice. Be sure to drink a lot of water after a clearing, more water than you might normally drink, to kind of flush out the toxins and help the clearing integrate. And again, thank you for watching this video. I hope it is a blessing in your life. I wish you all the best, and namaste.